Few names in recent history have sparked as much controversy as Jeffrey Epstein. For some, he represents the darkest side of unchecked privilege, a man who seemed to live above the rules that govern ordinary lives. For others, his story is a lens into how power truly operates. Money, silence, and influence, building a fortress of impunity. And then came the Epstein files. Thousands of pages of testimony, depositions, and unsealed court records. Together, they shine a harsh light on the scale of his crimes and the powerful people who orbited him. But before the files, before the headlines, we need to go back to where it all began. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born on January 20th, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York. His father worked for the city's parks department. His mother was a homemaker. On the surface, his childhood was ordinary. But those who knew him recall two traits that stood out early: ambition and charm. Epstein was brilliant at mathematics. He attended Lafayette High School and later enrolled at Cooper Union and New York University. But he never graduated. Still, lack of a degree didn't stop him. In the mid-1970s, Epstein landed a job teaching physics and calculus at the prestigious Dalton School on Manhattan's Upper East Side. And it was here, and in this classroom, that Epstein's life would change forever. From math teacher to financier, his time at Dalton connected him to the powerful. One of those connections was Alan Ace Greenberg, the head of Bear Stearns, a Wall Street powerhouse. Impressed by Epstein's confidence, Greenberg gave him an entry-level job. At Bear Stearns, Epstein thrived in options trading. He had a talent for numbers and for risk. But by the early 1980s, under unclear circumstances, he left the firm. Soon he founded J. Epstein and Company, a financial advisory firm that claimed to serve only billionaires. His most famous, and perhaps only confirmed, client was Leslie Wexner, the billionaire founder of L Brands, parent company of Victoria's Secret. Epstein bought mansions, private islands, and eventually a private jet nicknamed the Lolita Express. But alongside the glamour, darker patterns were beginning to emerge. The web of influence by the 1990s, Epstein was everywhere. He donated to charities, hosted intellectuals, rubbed shoulders with world leaders, celebrities, and billionaires. His Rolodex included names like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, and Ehud Barak. And yet, whispers followed him. Epstein was often surrounded by very young women, some models, some later revealed to be victims of abuse. Beside him stood Ghislaine Maxwell, a British socialite, daughter of media tycoon Robert Maxwell. She was Epstein's partner in both society and, according to survivors, in crime, recruiting, grooming, bringing young girls into Epstein's orbit. The first arrest and the deal of a lifetime. In 2005, the parents of a 14-year-old girl in Palm Beach, Florida, reported to police that Epstein had molested her. What followed was a painstaking investigation. Detectives uncovered dozens of potential victims, girls who had been paid to give massages that turned into abuse. The FBI built a federal case. In 2007, prosecutors drafted a 53-page indictment that could have sent Epstein to prison for life. But Epstein had powerful lawyers, Alan Dershowitz, Kenneth Starr, and they struck a deal with U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta. The result? A non-prosecution agreement. Epstein pled guilty only to 2 state charges: soliciting prostitution from a minor. His sentence? 13 months in a county jail. And even then, he was allowed out on work release for up to 12 hours a day. Federal charges vanished. Immunity was granted to his associates. It was, as some called it later, the deal of a lifetime. And for years, the world barely noticed. Return to power. After his release in 2009, Epstein wasted no time reclaiming his influence. He hosted dinners, donated to science, connected with politicians and royalty. Though whispers followed him, many powerful figures stayed close. Money, charm, and silence built a protective wall. But survivors refused to stay silent. Civil lawsuits piled up. Each one revealed new details. Each one pulled more threads loose. And journalists, especially Julie K. Brown of the Miami Herald, dug deeper. Her reporting in 2018 reignited public outrage. The fortress around Epstein was crumbling.